Hi guys, how are you?
Good. How
Hi, how
you
you
doing?
doing?
Oh, great. So for you guys as creatives, I know how freeing it can be um as actors to not really have dialogue to like deal with and you're only doing motion. But while that was a component for you, you also though when you're writing a script like this and there is no dialogue and you're just kind of at this point like explaining or writing like grunts out, it can get kind of complicated. What was the process like for you guys of working on this story and making it a cohesive thought throughout the entire process?
Well, the script was pretty tight. There wasn't really much, th- there wasn't a ton of improv with the film. It was pretty specific in terms of the beats we're hitting. It looked like a regular script, except there was no dialogue, so they didn't say like grunt 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 or anything like that. It just kind of explained the emotional beats that we were trying to hit with it. And I don't know, maybe it was probably a similar approach to like making a silent film where you needed to convey as much information as possible through the visuals and through their facial expressions.
And Nathan, for you, what was it like, being on both sides of this kind of movie? 'Cause you're both in it, but you're also behind the scenes at times.
Yeah, I mean, we David and I kind of take turns acting whenever it feels appropriate. And this one, I guess I was born to play a Sasquatch, and it was a lot of fun. That was a fun role to play because we got to disappear behind this makeup and just get really feral and play around and just have a lot of fun with like the whole scenario that we had created and as far as like acting. And then but like because we didn't have a lot of time on set and because the makeup took a lot of time to put on, we had to be kind of very specific with what we were going for on a daily basis. And so that made it really easy to kind of hop back and forth. And it's also how David and I have worked for so long, is hopping back and forth between various roles and behind the camera and in front of the camera.
Yeah, it's pretty normalized. So I think it's kind of second nature. Only someone else from the outside watching might have a better perspective than us, but we always are wearing many hats, and so they just all kind of blend together.
And with this movie in particular, it is, yes, we're all going because we're watching a movie about Sasquatches and everyone's kind of fascinated by what that can be. But it's also very beautiful to look at because you do have like these Bigfoots in the like beautiful mountains and in places that people go to look, quote unquote, for Bigfoot, but it's because it is also very beautiful. Was that always when you guys were like working on location scouting and figuring out exactly where you wanted this to be and whatnot? Was it always like part of your goal to make sure that that was captured when we were telling this story that is kind of off the rails?
Yeah, we wanted to feel as big and epic as possible, and yeah, just give a sense of grandeur to these, to this world that they inhabit. That's why it was important for us to shoot in the redwood forests of Northern California, where there's trees that are over 1,000 years old, and kind of give this kind of primordial feel to their surroundings, and just to kind of build on the epic scope we were going for.
When you were in the redwoods, did you ever stop and think about how that is also where all of the Ewoks were? So it was like
Oh
where
yeah,
you be
we definitely did that. I mean, the four that we when we were scouting. I mean, yeah, we were right across the road from from indoor stuff. Yeah, and you can still recognize a lot of the trees from Jedi and that sort of thing there. So we yeah, no, we were definitely happy to be in Ewok country.
Yeah, so then Nathan, in theory, you are just a tall Ewok because it is, just furry creatures in the redwoods of
Yeah.
Northern
That's
Yeah.
true. That's a good point. There's a lot of Ewok influence in this film, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I would watch all of these Sasquatches in the middle of a war. I think it would be really fun to see what they do.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do love that, within this movie that is sure people are going to say it's like, oh, it's like a silent film. Oh, they're just grunting, they're doing this. there is still like a heart to it, and we are seeing like emotions and drives that humans often get to express with words in movies. What for you both was the excitement and the challenge of being able to capture that, like Nathan, for you while acting, but also just kind of getting to have those emotions still in this movie?
Yeah, I think the emotional connection was really important to us because I mean, there's a lot of humor in it, and the stuff that we were playing with between, the gray area between humans and primates, and that's kind of where Bigfoot kind of is, and there's some humor to that. But in order to follow these creatures and this family on this journey over a year, the audience has to connect with them, and I think that's why we wanted to make sure that you felt what they were feeling, and you saw like the struggle that they're going through, and you can laugh when it's funny and silly, and then you kind of get really worked up when the stakes are kind of the situation is kind of against them, and how they cope with loss and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and we wanted to explore the full spectrum of the human condition through them, basically. So that's, and just show everything for what it was, just in terms of the full spectrum of behavior within that, whether it's highbrow or lowbrow, just kind of embrace it all wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and I do love too that, as you said before, Nathan, you really, there are times where I'm like, that could be anyone. That doesn't need to be Riley Keough. It could literally just be anybody looking like a Sasquatch and then being like, it's Riley Keough. Was it that always kind of the idea to make them like make it so much a story of like you're looking at a Sasquatch and not necessarily have that like in the back of our minds, we know it's Jesse Eisenberg and Riley Keough and Nathan, but not have that be the like draw of this is looking at a celebrity the entire time?
Well, yeah, I think for us, a lot of times with these creature movies, it's a creature that's off to the side, or it's they're done on sound stages, and it's not really something that is in the forefront on every frame, and we really wanted to work with actors that have that sort of weight to them, and that can actually bring a lot to the character, even though they're covered in makeup. And so that was a challenge. Everybody kind of had to learn how to act through it. But I think that was part of the what works with the film is that it is Riley Keough and it is Jesse Eisenberg, but you can they've added a lot to it, and they've really like took that character beyond just being a suit, and beyond just being makeup.
Yeah, I 100% agree. You said creatures, and I instantly was like, yeah, or it's also Doug Jones, and you guys didn't bring Doug Jones in for
Yeah. Yeah.
a creature movie without Doug Jones.
Yeah.
For a last quick question, with a movie like this, that as I said, a lot of people are coming in for the draw of like, well, what is this going to be? But what do you hope people take away when they actually leave and have seen Sasquatch Sunset?
Well, we never liked I don't know, the kind of art that we, art in general, but and then films that for us that we appreciate most are where they don't force an idea down your throat. They kind of leave breathing room for you to bring your own personal experience to it. And so I think because that's always much more interesting than if we were telling people what to think. So I don't know, we try to make stuff that works on different levels, and people can take different things from it, whether it's just just if they just want an absurd comedy, or if they want something with a little more to it, it can be different things for different people.
Yeah. I can't wait for people to get to see it. I can't wait for you guys to make Sasquatch Dawn, which is just the war movie. But thank you guys for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.